No, let's go CSI. Not Dreams, Spirit Board. Let's investigate. Tetsuo Tsutsumi, Chief Inspector of the Metropolitan Police Department, First Investigative Division, is investigating the mysterious death of a fellow officer. He visits the scene of the incident, the former Yasuda Gardens, with his subordinate Jun Iryo. Okay, we're starting at the gardens. 11 p.m. Oh no, I forgot the time. Well, I guess everything starts at 11 p.m. Like, the two were talking there for like 3 hours? Hey boss, forensics is all done. This crime scene is clean. The other officers have all gone home. It's just us now. This park should be able to open back up tomorrow like nothing ever happened. I doubt it'll get many visitors. I doubt it'll get many visitors after everything that's happened. You'd be surprised. Lots of people love that kind of thing. I bet they'll be lining up to get in. Cult stuff is really popular right now. Do you not know that, boss? Sounds stupid. Can't lower my voice. It's already low. Well, it's not exactly rooted in science, but if ghosts really did exist, we could just ask them who the perp is. Somehow I doubt it would be that simple. Oh, but you know, I've heard that high school girls are really into the spirit board thing these days. Supposedly, you could call on spirits and talk to them by using a board with letters on it. Wouldn't that be something? You could try it out yourself if you're so interested. Hey, that's not a bad idea. Let's give it a go sometime, boss. What now? Stop messing around. You really think we're gonna solve this case by moving a coin across a scrap of paper? Sounds like you know all about it. We gotta be open-minded. What if that's how police work's gonna be from now on? Don't make me laugh. Files. Do we still have our past spirit board? Yes, no, so your standard Ouija board. Although I've never seen the center being the gate. I believe that's a gate. Interesting. Due to the occult craze, divination has become popular among young girls and boys. All one needs is a coin and a piece of paper with letters and numbers written on it. Using these, all one has to do is ask a question to the called upon spirit and it'll move the coin to answer. It is believed to be a tool that was adopted from Western spiritualism and molded by Japanese occult enthusiasts. Makes sense. Ouija board. What language is that to be pronounced Ouija, I wonder? Though considered a form of divination, the ritualistic nature of this usage can cause self-hypnosis or auto-suggestion, leading to hallucinations or symptoms similar to spirit possession. Many schools banned these spirit boards after there were several students sneaking into schools at night, in addition to stories of people having seizures when using the boards. Yep, that's it. Listen up, Ariel. You can't go blaming the death of your buddy on something like the occult. I don't care if it was ghosts or the occult or what. Whoever or whatever it is that did this. I'll get them. I'll promise you that. Well, you got the right attitude, but we don't even know if there's a murder yet. Boss is weak in her judgment. Get too fixated on one thing and you'll stop seeing everything else. Aye, boss. So, now that we've finished investigating the scene, let's reveal what we know. No, it's getting late. Figured we should head home straight from here. Good face. Come on, we gotta go over all the info we gathered. And what better place to do than here at the scene of the crime where we could soak up the atmosphere? Exposition. Soak up the atmosphere? The hell is there to soak up? You must be really into this occult stuff if you're getting it. If you get off on being in a place like this. Wait, you mean being somewhere like this doesn't get your blood pumping? No way. Oh no, don't turn this on me. I'm not the weird one here. Cripes. Oh, fine, let's get this over with. Aye, boss. Ooh, surroundings. We're in the garden. The former Yasuda Gardens here in Yokohami Ichiome was originally built as a part of a daimyo's estate back here in the Edo period. The park became a city property a number of years ago and underwent extensive renovations. There's not a soul around here around this time of night. Quiet doesn't even begin to describe it. Who are you? Jun Irio, a detective in the Tokyo Metropolitan Police Department, 1st Investigative Division. His rank is Sergeant. This is his first time leading a case. It's like he's graduated from a rookie to a newbie. He looks put together on the outside, but acts like a kid most of the time. Honestly, the force could use more people like him. Alright, okay, think. Got a bad feeling about this case. My gut is rarely wrong. I knew this would be a treacherous case from the moment we were dragged into it. Scene. This is where the victim was found. It's clean now. Almost feels like nothing happened here at all. But once an incident like this has come to pass, there's no going back. Not that knowing is any consolation. About the case. So, early in the morning yesterday, a staff member found the victim collapsed here in the park and called the police when they realized he was dead. While there are no obvious external wounds, the fact that he was a police officer and the evidence of a struggle means that it's likely that this is a murder. He was a police officer, evidence of struggle. Okay. Clutching the heart. Okay. Off duty. The Sumida police sent it over to us since it was involved with the death of an officer, and we were tasked with the investigation. All we need to do is figure out what happened and whether or not there was foul play involved. I think that about sums it up. More about the case. But, boss? Yeah? This case is really important enough. Is this case really important enough to assign to someone from the investigation division? I mean, a friend of mine died, so it's important to me, but... It's all up to the higher-ups. I'm sure they got their reasons. Boss, you know something, don't you? It'll all become clear in time. Try not to worry about it too much. Thinking about it, the only thing we know for sure is the identity of the victim. That means there must have been something special about him, right? Maybe he knew something he wasn't supposed to. Some kind of secret or something. Isn't that right? You're pretty short sometimes, you know that? If you picked up on that, you should be able to put the rest together yourself. More about the case. Well, it is our duty to get to the bottom of a suspicious death, especially one involving an officer. About the victim. Victim is Hajime Yoshimi of the Juvenile Division of the Sumida City Community Safety Bureau. 27 years old, single. He mostly dealt with cases involving juveniles and education. His rank was senior police officer. You know him well, don't you? What's he like? Yes, we're in the academy together. We still went out for drinks together every month or two. He could be a little rowdy, but he was like a big brother to us all. He was kind and cared about his friends. For better or worse, he wasn't the uptight type of cop, and always showed empathy, and I heard he was popular with the locals for it. Looks like the face of Superman or something. He treated each and every troubled kid he met with compassion. He had a great track record when it came to rehabilitation. Sounds like we lost a good one. Yes, we did. We truly did. I knew being a cop was dangerous. I knew something like this could happen, but... It's never easy when it happens for real. I know the feeling. Didn't seem to care much about climbing the ranks, but he was at the top of our class. Only problem was, when he took us on so much, he had the most unfinished paperwork too. I always felt like we need an unusual guy like him to help us solve all our unusual cases. Person of interest, Hajime Yoshimi, male, community safety officer, Cursed Echo 9. Hajime was a police officer from the Sumida City Community Safety Bureau and was primarily responsible for juvenile and education cases. He held the rank for head patrol officer and entered the force at the same time as Junario. Hajime was found dead under mysterious circumstances at the former Yasuda Gardens early in the morning yesterday. Once a rebellious gang member himself. That's an interesting tidbit there. Yoshimi turned his life around and used his own experience to connect with troubled youth as a police officer. While his appearance and demeanor suggested a man who was rough around the edges, he was a passionate, loyal, and caring man at heart, looked up to as a big brother by his peers. Yoshimi achieved stellar results in his work with the juvenile cases, but his consistently sloppy paperwork and less than formal attitude essentially doomed his career, and had him writing formal apologies on the regular. He left behind a fiancée whom he had been dating since high school. Two interesting points, being the fiancé and the gang member as two loose ends. Don't worry. Don't worry. You're plenty unusual yourself. Me? That's the most normal of my classmates. Besides, that real weirdo among us quit the academy a long time ago. There's one even weirder than you. Oh dear. That's a lot. More about the victim. Hajime was quite the bad boy in school, apparently. He ended up with the police a lot. He said the officer in charge was good to him, helped him get back on track. The reason he wanted to become a cop was to pay his kindness forward. Said it was the first time he ever took his studies seriously. It's a good story. Love that kind of thing. Makes me want to have a drink in his honor. Please don't make fun of my dead friend. Hey, I said in his honor. You should aspire to be the kind of cop people miss when they die in the field. You say that like it's a sure thing I'll die. Besides, if I end up biting it, I'm sure you'll be the one who misses me most, boss. Come on, don't be like that. You'll hurt morale. Well, I guess how much I'll miss you depends on how this investigation goes. I could already see it. Ario, no. Why did you have to go and get yourself killed? I have no idea what's going on going on in that head of yours. Yeah, that'll be a sight to see. I can't wait. Can't wait for your own death. Get it together, kid. Sheesh, you really are something. Thank you? Okay, kid, tell me more. More victim. What about victim's family? The Yoshimi family is in Kitasenju in Adachi City. The Hajime's parents died a long time ago. He lived there all alone, no siblings or anything. I went to his house a few times for drinks. I was surprised. It's this huge old-looking place. Like, you know, the kind of place that seems super haunted. Then do you live there alone? Looked like the home of an old noble family. Hard to imagine him being such a delinquent living in a house like that. There's that bias I was talking about. If he's from an old family, I'm sure things are complicated. That's a bias too. Never talked about any of that, even when we were drunk, so I don't know much about it. Oh, one more thing. Yeah? Hajime was engaged. Yellow, no. He'd been seeing his fiancée ever since they were in school. Over 10 years, they just started talking about getting married. Oh, what was her name again? She showed me a picture once. She was a beautiful woman. Not so? How terrible for her. But she may know if there had been anything going on with him lately. We should speak to her. Yeah, his fiancée might be his only confidant. I'm sure someone at Sumida Police Department had already contacted her. I'll look into it tomorrow. So we won't know about her. Victim more. Ah, hey boss. Looked into the case that Hajime was running. Oh great, kind of stuff I want to know. What was Hajime working on the day he died? Well, according to his report the day before, he had 2 cases involving juveniles. Uh-huh. The first was a suicide at a high school girl who jumped off a building in Kamizawa last week. That would be the girl's friend, I assume. Yeah, did hear about that. And the other was a mother's child? Girl's name was Michio Saraishi. He was a second-year student at the Komagata High School. It seems as though Hajime had contact with her even before this incident. Bludgeoned head? Looks like it. Well, it was a suicide, so... Fall head first? So she'd been troubled for some time. That's the thing. About a month ago, he happened to see her walking around town. She looked upset, so he struck up a conversation with her. He was sure there was something bothering her, but she wouldn't tell him what. Must have been trouble at home. That's what he thought too. Seems he visited her home and spoke to her parents, but he said there's no problem, so there's nothing else he could do. And now she's dead. It's possible she could have prevented her suicide then. He must have been devastated. That's why he's been looking into this Michio Saraishi again. Must have thought there was that something terrible had happened that drove her to end her life. But ultimately, he never stopped reporting the findings of his investigation. I see. And you're thinking it may have something to do with his death? I'll have to find out what it is Hajime discovered. Right, let's check with the Sumida Police Department about that tomorrow too. What was the second case? What was the other case he was working? This one. It's also related to Komagata High student. Troublemaker named Hitomi Okuda. He seems to be a leader of a group of kids who get up to no good. Hitomi is not the name of the other person, right? Can't remember now. I doubt it, but... Juvenile delinquency. Fun. Which is pretty bad for a while. Multiple charges of destruction of property, assault and battery, you name it. Hajime had been working with her for about 6 months, and she finally started opening up. Then he met with a girl the day he died. Well, every school's got its problems. But I'm sure he'd be worried about how she'd get on without him. Right. Just when she finally found an adult she could trust. She might act out without someone to help her get through this. We have to make sure that the Sumida Community Safety Bureau does its job. But... You can't rule out the possibility that meeting with this delinquent girl had something to do with his death. Then we'll have to interview her too. Ah, yes, you're right. Things we can't do because this story apparently only takes place in a single night. She may have been the last person to see him alive after all. Ask Sumida to introduce us to him tomorrow. Though, who knows if they'll actually let us talk to her. That's what we hired you for. Lay a little boyish charm on them if they need convincing. Ah, yeah, I'm sure they prefer me over a scary-looking old man like you, boss. Watch it. Still your superior. You ought to act like you respect me at least. No, I thought I was. You were? Is that how your generation speaks? You really are a new breed? Yeah, it's probably just me, actually. Ah, well, don't think you could get away with that with other people. Oh, anyways, boss. Are you even listening? We got quite a bit to look into tomorrow. No, I don't want... Okay. First, the two Kamagata high school cases that Hajime was handling. And we need to speak to his fiancée as well. I believe that's it for tomorrow. Files updated. Notes. Okay, so this 2 days prior, 11 a.m. Wait, 11 a.m. Heart failure, cause unknown. Signs of a struggle. Body discovered with groundskeeper. Groundskeeper of the gardens. So that might be intriguing to know, learn about. Currently investigating. Okay, yep. Oh, good. We get. At the cause of death. As for the cause of death, we won't know until the autopsy is done. From what we've seen, though, it appears to be some kind of acute heart failure. But since he had no record of chronic illness and had no visible wounds, it's possible that poison or drugs might have been involved. Dying in the middle of the park like that, it certainly seems suspicious. We found signs of a struggle at the scene, as well as footprints belonging to an unidentified individual. We got people trying to identify those prints. If we could find out who they belong to, we might... we could figure out who they belong to. We might be able to figure this whole thing out. Yes, wouldn't that be nice if that were the end of it? The only thing Hajime had on him were his badge and his wallet in his pockets. Well, it wasn't a robbery. So we could rule out a mugging. But there probably weren't many people who'd think to try mugging a cop as big as him. I also heard that Hajime got into a fair few fights in his younger days. He started judo once he became an officer and rose up the ranks quickly. Sounds like the perp would have had to been pretty strong to take on Hajime, or by surprise. Cause of death. Time of death is around 11 p.m. 2 days ago. Outside of the park's operating hours, of course. Wait, p.m.? Ah, there we go. Wait, this is a gameplay guide? Ah, typo. 2 days prior, 11 p.m. Okay, good. That is worth noting. Please fix and patch, or, well, it's okay. 11 p.m. 2 days ago, outside the park's operating hours, of course. His body was found early in the morning yesterday. 11 p.m. the day before yesterday. What was Hajime doing out there at the time in the first place? That's the question, isn't it? The entrance to the park is closed after hours, but it's a small gate that'd be fairly easy for him to get through if he really wanted to. That would be, of course, be B&E, but what do you think, boss? Came to hide something, someone called him here. I could believe either. Hard to imagine a cop like Hajime would trespass for no reason. It seems like someone else was here with him. Could they possibly have called him here? Ooh, that does seem likely. I must have been talking about something pretty sensitive to come here in the middle of the night. So Hajime met someone here to discuss something in secret. And then they got into a fight? No, that wouldn't match the cause of death. There are no wounds on the body that would indicate a spontaneous scuffle. The perp must have planned something. And you think it was meditated? That would mean... They called Hajime to the park with the intent to kill him? Well, there is still the possibility that it was just some kind of accident. Maybe the perp tried to threaten Hajime and things went south from there. We should be able to get a clear picture of him once we know exactly what killed him. Right. About Tatsumi. Oh, that's me. But either way. Glad you're back in the first division, boss. I always admired your work. You're like a god to me. You're the whole reason I became a detective in the first place. Oh, yeah, about that. People have been saying that ever since you first entered the academy. Well, people have been saying that since you first entered the academy, but yeah, that's because it's true. I can't believe you got transferred out of the first, just as I was assigned to it. So getting to work in a case like this now, just the two of us, is a dream come true. Happy as I am to hear that, well, how should I put it? What is it? If that's true, I'm not sure you've been showing me the appropriate amount of respect. Huh, but I do respect you. Don't tell me you're going senile, boss. Love these two. It's exactly what I'm talking about when you run your mouth like that. It's getting late. You must be sleepy. Don't worry, boss. I'll make sure we get out of here soon. Yeah, I get it. Love these two. I've been wowed by your shrewd detecting abilities all day today. Oh, really? Funny, because I've been wowed by you too. Aw. On the topic of family, what's yours like, boss? What's wrong with you prying into my personal life all of a sudden? It's just, I've never heard you talk about them or anything. Oh, are you single? Shut it, that's none of your business. Well, ever since I joined the force, I've been thinking. You and, no, the department, really precious young officers to get married. Wonder why that is. They don't say anything like that, though. How should I know? I caved to the pressure myself and married 20-some years ago. Ah, so then... Oh, you're relentless. She took her daughter and left 4 years ago. Thanks for reminding me. Oh, I'm sorry. Can't believe she'd give up a guy like you. Yeah, I was never home much, too focused on work. I'd come home late only to be called right back out again. Plus, being a cop is dangerous work. I don't blame her for getting fed up with it all. It's sad, especially since you're out there putting your life on the line. Oh, is that why you transferred out of the first? It's already too late by then. You better be careful, Ario. You say that, but there's not much I could do, is there? That's the nature of her job. There aren't many who could really understand it, not unless they're involved with police work themselves or related to someone who is. But wait, you have a daughter, boss? Do you really think I want to talk about her after all that? Have some sense. Come on, I promise I don't mean this the way it sounds, but how old is she? Jeez, you don't know when to quit, do you? At least try not to look so intrigued. She's, well, a bit rough around the edges, and I think most men are intimidated by her. Last I heard, she was living by herself and going to college. Wow, a college student. Men love an educated lady. Wait a minute. Was that line set already? I feel like it was. Stop that. What kind of cop are you making baseless assumptions like that? She's living on her own though, huh? You must worry about her. Worry? I don't even know where she lives. Oh, she hasn't told you. Probably because she knows you'd follow her around everywhere. I would not. I don't think. Come now, we both know that's not true. Listen here. You look like a mean old man, but you sure have a soft side. What, is that supposed to be a compliment? I can't keep up with you. We're done talking about this. Tatsumi... Oh wait, that's still me. Oh, that reminds me. It's gonna be a bit. We got married 20 years ago. Must have been right around the Najima murder. You know your history. Yeah, that happened a year or two after a wedding. You were the one who arrested the killer, weren't you? We studied that case at the academy. I was only in elementary school at the time, but I still remember people talking about some dangerous criminal getting arrested. All that was just... Cracking the case, finding the guy, is all just happenstance. rather not think about it. It was a disturbing case. Did it not make your skin crawl when you learned about it in the academy? It did. We were all terrified. Sounds about right. No one could believe such a mild-mannered man could have committed such a terrible murder. If we had overlooked one little thing, we may have never caught him at all. Camera, where are you going, bud? I don't remember. I think I remember there was only one charge brought against him in the end. That's right, we didn't have the evidence. I knew there was no way such a meticulously planned crime could have been there first, but... We may have struck Fumichika Nejima in a cell, but there was no victory. He always had the upper hand. And all the damage he did to everyone involved, especially the victim's classmates. It's already been 20 years, huh? That's why I tried not to think about it. Sorry. There's something intriguing about Hurt's case 2 decades ago involving the murder of a female high school student, so that must be the ghost lingering in the high school. First came to attention when part of a human left hand was discovered floating in the Sumida River. Testing revealed it to be a missing high school student missing. As it appeared to have been severed deliberately, the police launched a murder investigation. A large-scale search for the river was organized, but the highly polluted state of the water made this impossible. Visibility was poor, the stench was insane, and the divers quickly fell ill. They succeeded in recovering only the victim's head and what appeared to be part of her leg before the search was called off. This reminds me of... What was the mystery? The mystery of the reed, one-sided reed. At the time of the incident, the Sumida River was polluted as it had ever been. Neither fish nor shellfish could survive in it, eventually causing the annual fireworks festival to be called off indefinitely. Over the course of the search, the police discovered a number of unidentified human bodies. This caused a stir among the public as several young women had gone missing in several years in the Tokyo area. It was feared that they may have fallen to the same fate. Forensic technologies at the time, however, were not advanced enough to determine the identities of the deceased, and the police were unable to open any inquiries. Due to the lack of circumstantial evidence, the investigation ground to a halt. Until... a hitherto unrelated individual came to its attention. Hitherto. During a questioning about a separate incident, Fumichika Nejima, 36-year-old shop owner with no relation to the victim, divulged details about her had never been released to the general public. An investigation to his background was conducted, leading to his arrest. Nejima testified that he had snatched the victim from the streets and confined her in the underground storeroom of his shop, which also served as his living quarters. He chose her for no special reason, but simply decided she was an opportune target on seeing her walking alone at night. After keeping her locked up for several days, he restrained her, sewed her and severed her fingers and toes with a box cutter while she is still conscious. Ugh. As she screamed silently beyond her sealed lips, he proceeded to her wrists, her ankles, elbows, knees, working his way inwardly, slowly and methodically. The victim constantly wavered in and out of consciousness. Her ordeal continued until she died of blood loss. As the shop, Nejima dismembered the rest of her body and disposed of it behind his home in the Sumida River, before cleaning his storeroom and returning to his everyday routine as if nothing had happened. The brutality of his actions shocked the nation when they were eventually reported. Once apprehended, Nejima readily divulged the details of the murder, but this is genuine murder. Okay, but it was less willing to explain his motive. When asked, he could only break down tears saying, "I don't know what came over me. I was wrong." In the end, the police could extract nothing more from him than his expressions of remorse. The efficiency of this method strongly suggested he had committed similar crimes in the past. No corroborating evidence came to light. Right, tactical dismemberment. Jima was sentenced to life in prison in his first hearing. The sentence was opposed to no appeal from the defendant. Okay, what happened to the Sumida River? Mina Rivers, Mina River. Here. Ooh, that's a lot of info. All this cult stuff. You ever heard about it, boss? What are you talking about? Right, a resurrection thing that everyone's talking about? No, not you too. I've been hearing about that everywhere. Oh, you have? That's surprising. Who cares what people are talking about? It's got nothing to do with their job. Don't you think the occult stuff with this case feels, I don't know, realer somehow? The whole thing started right here in Honjo in Samita City, so I thought that maybe. Cut it out. Nothing good will come of getting involved with that right of whatever or that record of fates. He knows. How's he know? Sounds like you know all about it. Boss, are you secretly into the occult? Stop that. Seriously, this isn't a joke. You get why you'd be intrigued by something called the Rite of Resurrection after a buddy of yours died, but bringing the dead back to life, that's the stuff of fantasy. It's not real. Don't go hoping for miracles, got it? Oh. Well, boss, think about that, does it? Right, let's call for tonight. We'll see you tomorrow. Oh, lovely. What is that? No, boss, what's wrong? Don't tell me we're going senile. It was that case all along. Boss, what is it? Is there something over there? Find the cursed stone of the Evergreen Beach. You could use it to kill those who intentionally try to mislead you. That's a handy one. Ugh. Murderous impulse seeps into my soul like a thick black tar. Boss? Boss? Boss, what's the matter? Don't tell me you really want senile. Sorry. I'm fine. Ariel? Yes? I have some bad news. Oh, your senility is kicking in. You're seeing it like senile in that form. Kicking in, isn't it? No, we've got a bit of trouble in our hands. Looks like we'll be working some overtime. We're not going home tonight. Huh? What are you talking about?